to create all our get routes, making our website load up, also the admin side. So it's time to start creating some items or objects. Let's create some jobs, let's create some messages, and let's test out creating subscribers. Then we'll now try to render dynamically. So let's start with that. Now let's start with jobs. Okay, so our jobs have a structure. Right now we can see job ID, title, location, salary, category, and description. These are all properties that our jobs should have, that each job should have. So now moving forward, let's see how we can do that. Now we've separated these routes, so we need to go into different routes to achieve what we're trying to do. So the first thing we want to do is to create a post route that will handle creating of jobs. So we want something that will work with this form and be able to, you know, get some jobs in. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So let's come here, okay, and do a post job. Okay, so now post a job. It's about to get a post request. Alright, so now let's grab this one. Let's just copy. So it will be routed up to post now. And let's call this route post dash a dash job. Okay, so post a job request, and we want to render back the post a job page, and I'll tell you why we are going to render that back when we are done. Okay, so when we're done posting the job, we want to render back the post a job page, and I'll tell you why we are doing that. So now we want to, in English now, what we're trying to do is to take a new object, create a new object from whatever is coming in from the rec.body, and we want to take that and push it into an array that we must have brought in from this jobs.json here, and then we want to push into it, and then overwrite the jobs.json. So let's break that down a little bit. So what we're going to do is we need this jobs.json. So let's bring it in. Now we're going to be doing that using fs. So let's import fs from fs. So now let's do a const, let's say jobs equals fs.read file sync. What file are we reading? We are reading jobs.json. Okay, and we are following that UTF-8, right? So let's console the log that to see that we actually have this JSON format array. Okay, we do. You can see it here. Alright, so we can convert this to JavaScript by using const, or we can just follow a shortcut. Okay, so jobs will be read file sync and all of that, but we can wrap that around something here and say json.path, so keep it in one line. Okay, no magic, we've done it before. So if I console the log jobs now, you can find that it's now in JavaScript, and that's just fantastic. So we might want to do that for the rest, but we'll come back to that later. So now console.log jobs. So now we have the jobs array, but you see this jobs array, I want it to be as limited as possible. Now I want to delete a lot of the jargon that we have there and keep just one. So that one will just be our sample and will just be something that will avoid us, that will prevent us from having errors, because if our JSON file array has no child at all, if we try to run the dot pass, we'll be having some errors. So it's good to just leave one there. Okay, that one will not hurt. So having that one there is fine. So let's move forward now. So what I want to do is to write the controls, the commands here. So what I should have, I will have something like const new job equals to be an object. Okay, but let's just make it reg.body. So now, why this is going to have to be broken down instead of just putting the reg.body is because if we look at what the job format looks like, it has a unique ID. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So every job is supposed to have a 4-digit number in string format that is supposed to represent the unique identification of that job. So this is to help us identify the job on the platform and know which exact job we're talking about. Help the server understand the particular job that we're talking about. So that means we'll need to generate this ID at this point when we are creating the job. Okay, so let me copy some things here and let's try to use it here. Let me copy it in. Okay, so let's try to use it here. Of course, we'll have some issues here. Okay, yes, because that is JSON, this is JavaScript. No strings on our keys here. Alright, so now this command simply means, look, if someone is trying to post to /post a job route, I want you to create a new job, a new variable called new job, and it should be an object, and the job ID should be this, the title should be this, the location should be this, salary should be this, category should be this, and description should be this. And well, this is very, very static. And then once you're done with all that, render back to post a job page. Okay, so we can do that, but when we do that, of course, it's going to just create that new variable. Nothing is going to change. But let's even test this and see if this is working by trying to send a post request here. So let's say console.log new job. Okay, so I should try to send a post request to /post a job. Now, what do we use to send a post request? That would be a form. So where is that form? If we check inside here, we check it should be on the post a job. Okay, that's post a job page right here. So we should have that form. Okay, so the form, let's give the form some nice properties. Let's give it a method. Method should be post, and then what else? The action should be dash post dash a dash job. So post a job, and let's go. So post a job, method post, action is /post dash a dash job. Okay. Now, do we have a complete document? Okay. Perfect. That's okay. So let's prepare post name. Let's just give it title. Title is fine. I want to tell you what we have over there. Then we have this select. From the select, let's give it a name too. I think that's location. So value should be nothing for the empty one. Then value here should be Lagos. Value here should be Abuja. Let's keep everything in lowercase. Okay, so let's add some new locations here. Let's go from the nicest places in Nigeria. We have Lagos, Abuja. Let's have Ibadan. And let's have Jos. Okay, cool. So the value of these guys should tally with what they actually are, because the value is as good as the input value. So, you know, for other forms of input, like the input type text, we type in the value. Whatever we type in becomes the value. But for things like options, for select, when we say select, we're talking about this drop down menu right here. Yes, so the things we've added now, the options we've added are now showing. So if I select this, right, it's as good as me typing in Abuja here. So the server reads them the same way. But that is because for this particular option called Abuja, we've set the value as Abuja. So if someone should click on this, the value that is going to be sent back to the server as the typed in input is Abuja. Same way, someone comes there and types in and selects Ibadan, it will be as good as somebody just typing in Ibadan into an input field. I hope you are good with that. Okay, so we have Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, and Jos. Okay, and those are the things there. But the select tag itself is the one that carries that name, and then it will choose the value of anyone here. But while for an input box, it has its name, and the value is whatever we type in. Okay, so location, then value, value, value. And then what else do we have? We have the salary. Okay, so let's give it a name as well. Let's call that. And let's have, yes, that's fine. Type is number there. And what else do we have? This form select. Okay, category. Let's give it a name. Okay, so now this select, this can cause an error. So the select seems to have two main properties. So one that comes by default. So let me delete one. So it doesn't cause any error. So you can watch out for that in the code as well. So now this form select, this select already has a name attribute. So I should call this category. And then this category should also carry value apart from the default one. So marketing, customer service, this one is human. Now I'm going to change some of these things later, but it's fine now. Let's just put the value. So name, category, this is the value. Alright. The next thing we have is description. Okay, class. Okay, so for the description, we should just have the name as well. What description, and the value also is whatever we type inside, and then we have the submit button. Okay, so if we say reg.body, we should be able to grab that. So let's just see that console.reg.body. So let's see if this form is working in the first place. So let's try that out. It's pointing to /post a job. Let's hope that works. So let's do job title, carpenter, needed urgently. Location, Abuja, salary is 1 million. category, let's put marketing, and for the description, let's just type something. And then, of course, based on the information that we gave, it reloaded that page and it brought us back to, it re-rendered this posted job page. We're still going to come back to why we are doing that. So we did rec.body, okay, and yes, we are getting this this whole thing right here. So we are having this object, carpenter needed. So it's catching the title, location, salary, category, and description. Title, location, salary, category, and description. Yes, those are the things we need. And the only thing missing is the job ID. Okay, that's fine. Now we don't create a job and manually give it a job ID. We want it to be something that comes in automatically, right? So there's a way we can do that. In other words, the way we can generate 4 number characters that can help us identify our objects, our job objects separately. So what we can do now is to say, look, we know we can get this thing from our rec.body, so our form is working, but we don't need rec.body right now in that way. What we need rec.body for is to separate everything. So we are trying to create a new job. So now let's create let's say const equals rec.body. So what this should do, we already know the structuring, we've done that before. So let's do title, let's do location, let's do what else? Salary, let's do category, let's do description. Good. So now we're going to go into rec.body and pick all these guys one by one automatically. Let's test location out, for example, and see if what we're doing is correct. Okay, so let's create this. Choose location, Lagos this time. Just take a number, category, pick anything. Now for this description, it's enter. Alright, so that should have come. And yes, so we're catching Lagos. That means we now have these variables: title, location, salary. So now that means we can now specify that we want our new job object that we're creating here to carry the values that are coming in from the client. So our title should not be a pre-written string anymore. It should be this title right here. And then our location should not be this pre-written one anymore. It should be the one coming from here. Makes sense? And then our salary, then our category. Okay. And then what else? Description. Yes. And then there's only one thing missing, right? Which is still this guy. Okay, so there's a way we can generate 4-digit numbers and try to keep it that way. So we can create something called, you can say const my job ID equals marked.random. So this is to generate random numbers, or we can multiply that. This is to generate random numbers between 0 and 1. So but if we multiply by a very high number, it would want to generate numbers between 0 and that particular number, so which is good. We are trying to create 4-digit numbers, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to generate numbers between 0 and 9,999, and we can make this 1,000 to most likely not generate 1,000 itself. but let's just keep it at 9,999. Okay, so math.random. So let's console.log my job ID and see what it looks like. Okay, so if you check that, yeah, that will run every time okay, so we have this 1 2 3 4, yeah, 4-digit number, random, but it has this other guys behind it. We don't want that, so we can wrap this with a math.trunc. So math.trunc, like the name suggests, it truncates the number, removes all that decimal nonsense there. So let's try that again. Yes, put this in, and yes, now we have that 1 2 3 4. So we have a 4-digit number right there. However, if we keep going on, we might end up having a 3-digit number or even less, because of course, don't forget, it's going to be running numbers from 0 to 9,999. So there's a very high probability it can land on a 2-digit or 3-digit number, and we don't want that. It will ruin our structure. Okay, now if you don't have too much time, you could leave it like this. Okay, now it's not trying to generate a 3-digit number for me, but so you could leave it like this actually, but we aim for perfection. So let's try. Okay, so I'm gonna try it 3 more times. Let's try to generate a 3-digit number just to prove our point, because why not? But let's go. Let's see. Let's try. Okay, so now we still don't have a 3-digit number, so our point is not proven yet, but it can happen. We're just trying to undo errors here, but this is not a serious project, so we might skip that, but I'll still write the code here anyway, but just to show us what can happen. Aha, perfect. So here we can see this guy is out of place, 735. We think it's out of place because we want our numbers to be 4 digits, and we want them to be in string format anyway. But we want 4, but it's 3. So what we can do is this. Like we discussed before, arrays and strings are very similar. In fact, arrays are strings. Strings are arrays. So the idea is that if we convert this number to a string, right, we can check the length, and when we check the length, if it's less than 4, okay, we can attach 0 to it. Those kind of registration numbers where you have 1,245, 1,245. Then if it's a lesser number, then you have 0, 1, 2, 3. Or if it's a lesser number, you have 0, 0, 1, 2. Something like that, just to keep it being 4 digits without spoiling anything. So what we can do is let's change this. So let my job ID equal math.trunc. So we are still getting any of these numbers, but then I want to change my job ID to want to change it to a string, and there's something for that. We call that to string. Okay, so to string will change it to a string, and you notice it will now become white instead of the yellow color that we're having right here. So let's try that and see. And post something now, apply now, check. Yeah, so it's now white. 1 2 3 4. Good. So now, since we have it in string, we can then check if it is you can check for the length. So let's just say if the length Okay, so the length of my job ID is less than 4 because we want 4. Then my job ID will be equal to 0 plus my job ID. So, well, we won't spend the whole time trying to get that situation again, but let's just try 4 times, not give us 1, 2, 3. So what this means is that if the number is up to 4, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine, nothing. But if it's 750 again, or like any 3-string number, 3 or 4, 2 or something like that, then we want to add that extra number in front of it so that it will, still look like 4. Now, of course, while saying this, I just remembered that, well, it could come as a two-digit number too. That would then mean that we'll have to add 2 zeros in front of it, but that's a story for another day. It would most likely not fall into 2, or it will stay on 4 or 3, but we can check for ourselves. Okay, so we have 2, 5, 7, 3. Okay, so none of these are actually less than 3 characters, so we didn't have to append the 0. Something is telling me just push one more time, and one more, one more. So let's see if we can have that situation so that we can, perfect, you see? Just one more push sometimes. So this guy right here is originally supposed to be 488. So at this point, after doing mark.trunc, mark.random, what came out here was 488, and then 488 was on its way before it got captured here, got converted to string, 488 string. Then we now check the length of 488 to see if it's less than 4, and yes, it's less than 4 because 4, 1, 8, 2, 8, 3. That's 3. So 3 is less than 4. So therefore, this code will run. So this code running now means, okay, we're going to take that 488 and now turn it into 0 plus 488. So that is 0, 488, because this concatenation, we're concatenating 2 strings together. So now our job ID is now 488. So this code is going to run every time someone posts a job right here using post a job using that post a job form. So we want job ID to be the result of all this label. So instead of this string right here. So let's put this here. So job to my job ID. So every time we'll have a different job ID for a different job, and we'll be happy. So console.log, yes, new job. Let's see what it looks like. So let's see. So let's try to create a new job now. Okay, so apply now. Okay, so if I come here, so now we have a job ID for this particular job, 8448. That's good. Let's create another job and see how it works. So we create another job now. 2792. Okay. So our job ID is unique now, and that is fine. So for every job we create, every time we post a job, we automatically generate an ID for that job, and that's just fantastic. So we are creating the jobs now. There's no problem with that. The only thing that we need to do is to push the jobs into the jobs array and overwrite this jobs.json that is over here so that it can be updated. Easy peasy. So what we need to do, instead of console logging new job here, will be to take the jobs array, right, and dot on shift. Okay, and we said on shift. What does on shift do? It adds the new item in front of the other item. So we decided to go through. We decided to go with it because we found it much more exciting than push. Okay, but if you like push, you can still go with push. Only that it will be putting it on that. So on shift, new job. So what this line is going to do is going to take this guy and push it into jobs. So if we console.log jobs in here, what are we going to do? All the jobs in the job array plus all the jobs, I mean just one job, which is this job that is right here. Okay, and we'll have our new job on top of it. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is the new job, the newest job in town, and that's its own unique 4-digit number, and then this one is the old one that has its own unique 4. Okay, so that's cool. So now we can create the jobs and push it into it. But if we check this place, we still don't have the job here. So what is the solution to that? The solution to that is, now that we have a new job array at this point, we can simply push that here and overwrite this file. This file has become obsolete. Why? At the point when we are creating this job right here, and we now have a new job that has been pushed into the jobs array, this is no longer valid. So we need to take this guy away and replace it with the new array, right? Fantastic. So what we need to do now is to do some write file sync over there. So what we can do is simply to write this new jobs array, but jobs at this point is still in JavaScript, so we need to stringify that. So let's save that inside the variable. So let's call this job string. Okay, equals JSON dot stringify jobs. Yeah. So JSON.stringify jobs, because that's the new guy. And then now we want to fs.write file sync. What are we writing? So we're trying to write this guy. fs.write file sync. Name of the file now, which is jobs.json. And what are we writing there? We're writing string. Yeah. So let's see if that works. I'm gonna perform a bit of magic here. See, no cheating. Then come in here, come on here. Now okay. And yeah, so there are now two jobs right here, because we'll be able to on shift or push the new job, and we can do that for every single job that we are interested in writing. So once we post a new job, it enters inside here. So now if we require the jobs array and we bring it in, we're going to be getting the updated job. And yes, it's exciting because each job now has its own job ID, which we can now use to track the job and use as the job's singular detail. So that is fine. That has been interesting so far. For other things we're going to be posting, we're going to be spending less time, because we'll just copy some of this code and move forward with that. So that is for oh shit. Okay. Yeah. I thought this recording stopped. Okay. So that's fine. Now, moving forward now, what do we have? We have, yes, posting a job. Yeah, on that. And good. Post a job. We have that posted. So let's post the other things that we need to post so that we can now start, you know, doing our dynamic rendering, and then from there we'll now go to uh, extra features like search and all. So apart from jobs, what else will people have to post? Okay, applications. Yes, applications. Okay, we'll do applications after dynamic rendering because each job each job's detail page is supposed to be dynamically rendered, and we don't want to mix that together. So we'll be back to applications because that's the page where applications are supposed to run. So what other thing we have here is messages. Okay, so name, email, subject, and message. That's not a big deal. We can do that too. We've seen this before, so just copy this right here, change some things. Let me call this send message. Okay, post message. Okay. So what are these details again? Name, email, subject, and message. Okay. So name, email, yes, subject, and what else? Yes. Message. All that should come from vector body. That's fine. Let's delete these guys because we don't need any unique ID for our image. So let's call this new message. Okay, so new message equals name. So that's the name of the person sending. Should be equal to name. Email. That should be the email of the person sending. Subject. And that should also be the subject. And message. That should also be the message. Perfect. So now we don't need to unshift anything there. Okay, we need to unshift something. So now we need to bring in the messages file as well. So let's do const messages equals JSON or pass fs.read file sync. Let's call that messages.json. Okay, UTF-8, that's fine. All right, so now we have that messages.json, jobs.json. So now for messages, the same exact thing we're doing right here. We created a new message. The next thing we want to push this new message into the messages array. Okay, so now the new message, and then const message string messages string equals json.stringify this new version of messages, and then fs.write file sync messages.json. Then that should be messages string. Perfect. And then when we are done sending a message, it should render contact us, because that contact us page is where that form is. So we need to go and touch that form as well. So here, contact. Yeah, this is the message. Name, email, subject, and message. SMS. So we need to touch this form. We need to come and find it. So it's on contact page. Let's see. We need to point it to this route, send message, and we need to yeah, need to see what it's all about. I hope it's also called contacts. Let's check the views. All right, contact. Oh yes, so we've seen it. Click it. Let's find the form. Okay. If it's proving difficult to find, just Control F. Form can hide. All right. So now let's go. So we need to give it a method, of course. What method is that? Post. And apart from giving it a method of post, we also need to give it what? We need to give it yeah, action. So the action should be /send dash message. Okay. So that's just fine. And the submit button, yes. So for every input, we need to, give it a name and make sure everything is working perfectly fine. So inputs, ID is name, placeholder your name. All right, so name is what? Name. So name is name. Don't let that confuse you. Name is the attribute. Name is what we want to call it. All right, so name input here. Let's give it a name to email. So that should be email. What else? We have input here, subject. So let's call that subject. Okay. What else? Another input. Okay, text area. Yes, that should be the message. Yes. So I have the name already, so we have to check out for that. Okay. So it doesn't. So this is the real message. All right. So that is absolutely fine. Now we just need to test this out and see. So for all messages now, messages.json, we have, yeah, so we have just 1 2 3 4. So let's delete all of them except one, so that it doesn't give us any errors while we're trying to pass it to JavaScript. All right, so now we have Sunday Matthew alone. So let's try to see if we get another message pop up in here. We know that it's working. If we don't, we know that this is just not working. So let's go. Let's have the updated version of the form. That's why I refreshed that. So name, let's put Ajagbe Michael or Michael. So okay, so email, let's put any email. Subject, no subject. Message, let's just type something nice. Okay, send message. Okay, so it's bringing us back to a page called, what page is this? It's rendering this page back. So there's something about the CSS that we need to look at. Why is this happening? So it must be based on that path, that root path. So we'll figure that out, but let's see if we have the message in here. Okay, fantastic. We have the message from Sunday. Matthew is now second, and yeah, so this is new line. So I guess this is from the forms styling or formatting. Don't need to bother about that. So everything we're trying to do here works. The only problem is when we tell it to re-render the contact page, we're having issues with that. So why is the contact page having issues? What's with that contact page? Let's see. I think we removed what needed to be removed there. Okay, let's put this like this. What else? Okay, the contact page is supposed to benefit from this home route, or the main. Where is the main guy? Main. Okay, layouts main.hps. Okay, so where's the header? So okay, whatever that was, I guess it's fine now. All right, so moving forward, now we have been able to create a route that handles posting messages and another that handles posting jobs, and our jobs have unique IDs. That is fantastic. Anyway, you are just give yourself a pat on the back or a round of applause. We've come really far. So now, subscribers. Let's quickly do for subscribers. We just have just one subscriber at the moment, and the fact that they are tiny doesn't mean we'll forget about them. So this is the form that handles subscribers. So I won't say much there. I'll just find that from the footer. And okay, let's see if we can find the form. Okay, so it's an input here. It's not even wrapped around the form. Okay, so we need to wrap that around the form so that it can submit something. So action should be slash subscribe. Okay, but the form needs to close down here after the submit button. Okay, so sign up. That's good. So now for the input, we need to give it a name. So name should be email. Alright, so we have slash subscribe. So let's quickly create a post route for that and try to copy what we have over here. Post subscribe. Okay, so let's take this one the message because it's the closest to it, but it won't be that complex. So let's just have subscribe. So slash subscribe. Just need the email. Okay. So rec.body, and let's call this new subscriber equals this. We don't need a name. We don't need a subject. We don't need a message. All we need is that email. Alright, so a new subscriber. So let's call this subscribers dot on shift new subscriber const subscriber string equal json.stringify subscribers. Okay, fs.write file sync subscribers.json. Then we're passing the string version of subscribers. So on results render. What would we want to render? This for subscribers. Let's just take them home. So let's just redirect instead of render. Okay, so my run. Okay, so now subscribers has not been imported. Okay, so let's just follow the same pattern. json.parse fs.read file saying subscribers.json. So we have something there. Let's quickly test that and see. And before we now go to applications, so applications will come from. Okay, so I should just put in my email here then and sign up. Okay, let's see. Did that trigger something? Now we don't know for sure because that's my email still. So let's use something at something.com. Okay, so now you might have found this out in your code as well. So for some reason, this button right here is not working. So it happens must be some setting in the HTML and CSS. Let's try to take a look at that. This is footer, and this button might have a class that is making it stubborn. So let's remove the button class because we don't know what's and type is button. No, let's remove that type is button as well. Okay, so let's see if it triggers the post request right now. Okay, it does trigger a post request. Let's see, but not the kind that we're looking for. So something is still wrong with that there. So let's look at this py2. We don't know what it is. So let's remove that. Okay, so sign up. Now it's going to subscribe email equals. Okay, that means it's pointing as a get. Alright, so let's look at it. The form closes here, the form starts here. Oh, we didn't put a method. Okay, so it's going to get by default. So that's post now. So let's try to trigger that post. Click on sign up. Okay, so cannot post / subscribe. Okay, that's good because we haven't set up the post route. So let's make sure the spelling is correct. I can't. Okay, why? Alright, that's a C there. Okay, so now I think everything should work smoothly. So we have / subscribe. Okay, pick the email, create a new variable called new subscriber, grab that email that comes in from the body, save it as the value of this email property, then unshift the new subscriber into the subscribers array, then change the array into a string, then override the previous array that was in JSON format. Okay, so now let's do that. Let's do wahab@gmail.com and sign up. So it takes us back home and we now have a new subscriber. Fantastic. Which is wahab@gmail.com. Okay, so far we've been able to post everything that we're supposed to post. The only thing that we need to do is to simply render everything dynamically so that we can move forward. So now we want to focus on application. So the thing with the application is this: it relies on the job ID because first and foremost, where we are going to be going to is going to be when someone comes to a job, for example, and clicks on apply now. I want that to go to a particular page, yes, that is representing the particular job that the person clicked on. And while here, okay, I want this to be the ID of that particular job, right? So we'll use that ID params to find that particular job and render the dynamic data right here, okay? And then when we do that, we want that data to automatically be appended here, so the user doesn't have to type in the job ID, so that when the user sends in this application, which is going to send here, the job ID would have already been appended here and it just needs to apply now. So we're going to see how we are going to do that. I want to get to the next section of uh, rendering dynamically.